Doing our budget travel segment this week, and if you're looking for an exotic place to go, we think we have a pretty good one for you. This is a place with a great history, churches that are carved out of snow, and we're willing to bet that you haven't been there and it's probably not even on your vacation list. But maybe we'll change your mind. We're talking about Ethiopia. Justin Bergman of Budget Travel Magazine is here, and he's going to tell us why Ethiopia is where you should spend your next vacation. Really?
Yeah, it's a really cool, new, interesting kind of idea to go and do this. These churches are about 800 years old, and they were carved into the stone beneath the ground. And you can see some pictures will show you that the earth around it was cleared out, and the churches were carved into the stone, which is still connected to the bedrock. And there are 11 of them in total.
Oh yeah, there we see right there. I guess. So what is that? Is that the top of it that we're looking at?
That's the top of one of the churches, right?
So you go down below and tour under the ground.
Exactly. You go in through, and there are underground passages that will take you to some of them, and others you enter via little walkways that go down, along the rock face. And
we're seeing crosses, and I think people might be surprised that this part of Ethiopia is the majority Christian. Is that right?
Right. Ethiopia has a really long Christian tradition. It's actually the second oldest officially Christian country in the world after Armenia. And these churches, as the legend goes, were built in the early 13th century after the king of, who was the king of Ethiopia at the time, King Lalibela, ordered them to be built as a replica, or he was trying to build a new Jerusalem, basically. He had visited Jerusalem about 20 years previously after it had been ransacked by Muslims in 1187. And he came back to Ethiopia and said he was going to build this new city there.
Well, you will definitely be, the hit at the next dinner party if you just went to Ethiopia. That'll trump everyone's Jamaica, Hawaii, and Belize vacations, right? Right.
It's just something new and kind of interesting. And getting there is really not that difficult either. There's a direct flight every day that goes from Washington to the capital, Addis Ababa, and it's about $1,270 round trip, which, compared to prices to Europe, isn't really that much more expensive.
Now, when you get there, it's important. You can't really do this alone. I mean, obviously there's a language barrier. Here's an area that we know nothing about. So is it recommended that you get some help once you arrive in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. What you do is you'll book your hotel before you go, and there's a couple in the town of Lalibela where the churches are, and they'll set you up with a guide who will meet you at the airport. We'll take you to your accommodation, and will basically be your guide for your stay. He'll take you out when you want to go shopping or to get food or to go visit the churches itself.
Now, after you pay, like the $1,200 or so round-trip airfare, is it expensive in the country? Are you going to be paying a lot of money for hotels and food and that sort of thing?
No, not at all. The passes to the churches itself is about $24, I think, for a 3-day pass. And food is relatively cheap. It's the accommodation that might run you a little bit more than you would think for Ethiopia. It's probably about $32, $38 a night for some of the hotels that we've checked out.
Oh, please, that's still cheap compared to Paris, right?
That's true.
And the food, I've had Ethiopian food before, and I think it's pretty good. I like it.
Oh yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's it's served on this really flat kind of spongy bread, and you get all kinds of different stews, meats, vegetables. It's really interesting and quite different from anywhere else in Africa.
And you get to eat with your hands, which is always fun.
Yes, you do. You do.
It's very nice having you, and thanks for opening our eyes to a new location I think a lot of people never thought of before.
Right. Well, I hope people check it out. Thanks.
We'll see you later.
Bye.
Don't forget this article about Sacred Africa that details really this entire trip to Ethiopia, if you're interested, is online right now at budgettravel.com. They have a lot of interesting articles there, so go check it out. And don't forget, we do this segment every Thursday. So join us here for that.